There are people that live here in this very city in Southern California that don't make it to trainings, that don't get on Zoom, and even though they're available. So I love, and this is one of the reasons why we wanted to spotlight you, right, is because I see you're consistent and I see that there's no excuses. Hey guys, welcome to the Profiles of Success with our company BYLD Network, and we're excited here. I have a very special guest, and I usually say that I have a special guest, but today that word fits even better because my friend Barbie, we've already been friends for a few years on social media. We've got a lot of mutual friends, and I've seen the perseverance in this person, how she is challenged, right? Because she is deaf and she cannot communicate with people the same way that the rest of us can. But nevertheless, she still works hard. She still applies herself. She still attends every single training to reach the goals that she has for herself and the goals that she has for her kids as well. And so she came here. I think she's from Arizona, and she came here for our sales meeting today and to do this interview. So I'm very excited to have this interview. So with that being said, how are you, Barbie?
I'm doing great. Thank you for having me here. I really appreciate it.
Is this how you say appreciate?
Appreciate.
Two hands? Two hands? Okay, good.
Yes.
Well, I appreciate you. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you.
Yeah. So, Barbie, let's start here first. How long ago did you get started in the network marketing industry?
Over 20 years. I did several businesses throughout those years, and my experience really was during the 1990s, late 90s. And it was very interesting in comparison to what it is now, especially with the technology. It was so limited on access back then, and back then we had to use a landline phone. And we had to use what was called a TTY. That a deaf person would use a phone system with a keyboard, and so that other person has to also have a TTY.
Wow.
To communicate back and forth. And if the other person didn't have that, we had a fax. We had to write it, fax it over, they'd write their response, and so forth. So we didn't have that much of social media back then. So we'd have to drive several hours to meet people, say hi, do you want this opportunity for a business, and so forth. So I did all of that. And then I decided, okay, well, I'm going to suspend from that company, and I joined another company, and we had over 2,000 deaf.
Wow.
It was a very large company, and I was so excited about that. And then it started spreading out. So I kind of waited until, I did join a few, cryptos and just different health, weight loss. I really enjoyed the experience and really helped me prepare for BYLD when BYLD showed up this last year when I saw the video. And I was like, oh, yes, I love it. And what's so different is that BYLD has the products that we need, like solar. I didn't have any experience with solar in the past, and I didn't really understand it until I was staying with a friend here in California for about 2 months. And I was like, wow, solar, that's how it works. The electric bills, and I was like, okay. And then, with my own place with the kids, I started looking and I was like, wow, solar, like I really want to be involved. So then BYLD, really, those experiences helped me prepare for BYLD, how to show up with the system, which is very important for me, is to have that system and to apply that system. That what I know, and it really helps me prepare better.
I love it. And what's interesting is recently you just got your first solar sale as well. So tell us about how you got that first solar sale, Barbie.
I went to this one person, and I have been, because they asked me questions like, how does this work? And I explain, and they're like, well, how much? And I was like, no, give me your bill. I can't really tell you without seeing your bill. And they're like, no, it's okay. No, I don't want it. And I said, okay, that's fine. Whenever you're ready, I'm here. And then again, they hit me up and they asked me. you know, how much? And I was like, I mean, do I have your electric bill? No, but like, I need your electric bill. And so, you know, after a while, he finally was like, you know what? Yeah, I need solar. I think I need it. I think I'm ready. And I said, okay, great. You know, I need your electric bill. And they're like, yeah, your electric bill. And they handed it to me. And they gave me a screenshot of it. And we kind of went through that process and then got my sale. So just persistence. And also what's important is just keep it in contact. You know, if you're not ready now, maybe later.
Yes, absolutely. I love it. Where's that customer from?
Arizona.
Oh, nice. Okay, good. So, no, it's exciting to see because you have limitations that the rest of us don't, that most people do not. So how would you say that you do the majority of your prospecting? Is it via text? Is it via Facebook?
Text and Facebook are the two biggest. And also I use like Marco Polo, which is like a video filming for leaving voice messages, or in this case, sign messages. And sometimes I'll ask, you know, can we talk through a video phone? And a lot of them will be okay with that. And then, so it's kind of a different technologies that I use.
I love it. Listening to you puts things into perspective for me, right? Because I'm like, what excuse do I have, or anybody else that's watching that has the ability to have conversations with people, leave, you know, voicemails, and you have to do it through sign language, through texting, but yet you are one of the most positive people that I know in this business. You are connected to every training. I mean, not only that, but not only are you connected to the trainings, but you are connected with your camera on. What do you attribute the fact that, you know, your motivation, the fact that you are always in such a great mood and so keen to learning?
My why. Yeah, that's important. You know, I want the house for the kids. I want to prepare for the college for the kids, all the normal stuff. But also, I want to have the freedom of financial freedom of choice, freedom to do whatever I want. And that's really important to me. And so I experienced a bad life in the past, in the last several years with family. And so that was my motivation. I got to do better than what I have now. And so that was the why of my motivation. And I try to keep that positive attitude and mood because I believe and I have faith. I know that I'm going to do it. I have to tell myself, today is going to be an awesome day. I'm going to make it. And so that's an everyday mantra that I tell myself.
That is so inspirational because your why, right? It sounds cliche when we say it, but they say if you don't have a why that makes you fly, it's not strong enough. Or if you don't have a why that makes you cry, it's not strong enough. And I know that you have that. And, you know, your kids, right? Getting that home for your kids and having the freedom to do those things. And that's a beautiful thing. And one thing that I noticed is that, if I'm not mistaken, correct me if I'm wrong, you started with us, you were at our pre-launch event, February of 2024, yeah?
Yes.
And since then you were there, you were at the launch event. If I'm not mistaken, you were at Mentor Factory.
And at the LAX was the first
LAX one. Yep. And so.
And yes, the factory. And I plan to keep going.
Yes.
I'm not going to miss anything.
Yep. And that's why we're happy to have you. That's why every time that happens, you know, we're happy to have a translator because we want you to bring the deaf community because there's so much opportunity out there, and it's a big community, right? And if you offer the services that the service that we offer, everybody needs, right? And so it makes sense. So I'm excited to see your growth. I'm excited to see the fact that your business is growing, but more so, I'm excited to see what's coming in the future for you. So whatever we could do to help you bring that deaf community, you know, let me know. The last question that I have for you is this. Well, two questions. The next question I have for you is, what do you see different about BYLD compared to other companies that you've worked with in the past?
Yeah, the system is more consistent. You know, on Mondays and Tuesdays, Thursdays, you know, that helps me kind of know my scheduling. And with other companies, it was mostly like Saturdays, calls. And many times they would just talk and talk and talk and talk. Oh, I have this dream. I'm excited. I want people to join. And that's all it is the whole time. And so I'm like, I want content. I want some meat. And so I really enjoy, my favorite is the Millionaire Mentor calls on Mondays. Oh, that's my favorite. Because there's different leaders that are explaining. And it's more of a leadership of the product, orientation of the products, and that explanation. That's why I love BYLD compared to what I've experienced in the past with other companies. And the culture of BYLD. It's awesome, and everyone's helping everyone. And so that's why I kind of feel like this is the best.
I love it. Thank you for that. By the way, I'm doing the Millionaire Mentor call today, so it'll be a good one, as they always are, right? No matter who's on there. What advice, the last question I have for you, Barbie, is what advice would you give to anybody that is in the business and they're going through some challenges in their business?
Oh, keep going. Just be persistent. It doesn't matter. You know, understandably, like for me, if I stop, and I ask myself that question, you know, if I were to stop, what's going to get better? Nothing. So just keep going and just keeping the wheels rolling. And so my advice for others who are struggling is go back to the why you were started and go back to what really do you want at the end? You know, it's a struggle on the way there. That's fine. We all go through struggles, but at the end, it's the worth that's at the end. So just be persistent, talk with other people, but so importantly, be with people like in our team who are the leaders, who are up breathing with everybody. So it's really just don't be around the people who aren't and who are very negative. And that's really what's important is apply what the system is set up for. You know, and just be persistent and keep going, and that's how you get better. And don't give up.
That's right. I love it. I love it. It's so inspirational because you live in Arizona, right? And
Yes.
you're here. You drive to the events that we have here. You have other, for example, there are people that live here in this very city in Southern California that don't make it to trainings, that don't get on Zoom, and even though they're available. So I love. And this is one of the reasons why we wanted to spotlight you, right? Is because I see you're consistent and I see that there's no excuses, right? You live far away, you still come to the events. Today is a Monday, you decide, hey, I'm gonna go, I wanna attend the sales meeting and let's shoot, you know. So when I knew that you were coming, I said, yes, I would love to shoot this Profiles of Success because people need to hear this message. And I believe that this is probably gonna be the most popular Profiles of Success in my opinion. I think this is one that everybody should watch. They're all good, but this one is especially good because you're such an inspiration. Thank you so much, Barbie, for coming on and and being a part of our company.
Thank you.